Hey guys, on this edition of Off the Cuff, I'm going to show you something not too pleasant actually. I bought a pair of cuffs months ago and I really thought I could salvage them. I mean, I've been soaking them like crazy and doing everything I could, and they're just too far gone. So this is a good example of what's known as a wall hanger. A wall hanger basically is a piece that is so far beyond repair that you just hang it up on the wall. It's not going to do anyone any good except something to look at. But it is good in one way because it shows an example of that cuff does exist. Some people pay a lot of money for, let's say, broken, very rare cuffs that'll never be repaired, because at least that's another example of one that exists in the world, even though it's totally unworkable, you know, could be rusted all to hell and everything. Which brings me to these. These are Lepegi, pardon my French, Lepegi. And I got them because they have an extra long chain. These are not leg irons, these are handcuffs. And as you can see, they're horrendous. But they have a lot of neat stampings on them. Like I said, I got them for the extra long chain and I've been soaking them forever, and it was to no avail because once I was able to open them, not only was this rusted, but that's totally crunchily destroyed. The mechanisms just ain't there anymore. Same with this side. They were frozen shut because the locking dogs inside, I guess, were stuck somehow, but look, they're horrendous. But they have really cool markings still, and they're a long chain version. And the chain, surprisingly, is quite heavy and quite solid. Obviously, I can never, you know, they don't even lock. It looks like most of the inner mechanism is gone, and they do have, like I said, these really neat markings. These were made in France around the 1950s, and just for comparison, let me show you what a pair is supposed to look like. See, now these are the same company. The crap ones have a lot more markings, but the keyholes, it's the same manufacturer. And the crap ones have a bunch of different markings on it that these plain ones do not. These just say the name. This is what the key looks like. It looks almost like a luggage key, but it's not. And they're smooth operating. They're made out of mostly aluminum. All this is the aluminum case, but they have very sharp edges, which is why they don't use them anymore. You would not be allowed to use these anymore because they would really slice into your wrist. But it's a regular ratchet, very simple. It looks like they were just stamped out of hunks of aluminum. The chain, however, is steel, as are the clevises and the swivels. The bow with the teeth on it is steel as well, because otherwise it wouldn't have rusted like that. While they were soaking, I would check on them, you know, every couple of days, and I was really hoping that I could salvage something out of them, but I couldn't. They're just too far gone. But they're still really cool, and they look good in the drawer next to the shiny ones. And now, at least it gives me something to shoot for, because maybe I can find a pair with the long chain that will actually work. I'm pretty sure that this is a factory chain. I don't have any old catalogs or anything like that in French or whatever. But I do remember when I was a kid reading about these in the Wheeler Tanner catalog. For those escape artists, you know what I'm talking about. And I always thought, wow, just the shape of it looks so cool that I would love to get a pair myself, and I finally did. They're single locking. They don't have a double lock feature. Like I said, they were made in the 50s up to the 60s in France. And apparently they did come with a bunch of different markings. These one actually say Paris on it. LR Paris. Unis Francais. I don't know anything in French. I speak a little bit of German and a little bit of Spanish, but no French yet. I mean, there's a lot of markings on these things, a lot of information on them, as compared, of course, to the shiny ones, which just have the name of the cuff. It would have been really cool if these had all those markings on it. These probably were used in a prison, I would say, you know, for transport or whatever. Anytime that you'd use a long chain cuff in the 50s, you know, the same reasons as today. only because of the number here. Sorry, only because it's number 1434, which is only on the one cuff. It's not on the other side. I did read something interesting about the Lepegi, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong. You know, don't kill me for it. Don't get too upset. It said that these cuffs are actually, instead of there being a left and a right cuff, they were actually stamped out as mirrors of each other. You turn the key the same way on both sides of the cuff. It takes a very simple flat key, like I said, which looks like a luggage key, which I thought, when I got this pair, I thought that they might not be the original key, but I did find a photograph. Somebody else has a pair in their collection, still in the original bag. And guess what? That's what the key looks like. Of course, it came with two. Mine only came with one. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on wall hangers, and especially this particular pair. Don't worry, I didn't pay a lot for these things at all. Believe me, I didn't pay a lot. It's like anything else in collecting. Sometimes you buy what you think is going to be nothing but a pair of wall hangers, but a good soaking, a little care, and they turn out to be fine. I have several cuffs in my collection where I bought something that was just a pile of rust, or it looked like it was junk, and they just needed a good cleaning, you know, maybe a slight adjustment here or there. I never took a pair apart or anything like that. If I do have cuffs that need internal work, I don't trust myself. I send them to somebody that actually has experience and does that, like, you know, Bob Dixon, when John Bushy was alive, him and Ian. And there's several people that do beautiful work on the inside. They can take the cup apart, fix whatever needs to be fixed, put it back together, and you have no idea that it was ever even touched outside. You know, it looks like it did when it came from the factory. I tend to screw things up like that. I just don't like taking cuffs apart because I don't have the right tools necessary to put them back together so it doesn't look like they were taken apart. I know that's a lot, but that's just how it is. I mean, look at that. These things were like, they were, ugh, maybe run over by a steamroller or something. I mean, look at that. They're total. It's separated here. I mean, I've wiped them down like you wouldn't believe. I've gone through so many rags and there's still gook all over them. So, you know, luckily my drawers in the handcuff cabinet, not the ones I'm wearing, are lined so that they won't stain the wood. So, anywho, I'm gonna put these back in the drawer next to the nice pair in the European section. I have, you know, believe it or not, I do know what's in a bunch of those drawers. And there is sort of a system to my madness. Those are my wall hangers that soaked for months to no avail, other than the fact that now the bows sort of swing. Yeah. So that's this week's edition of Off the Cuff. I have a really nice pair of British cuffs to show you in the next installment, and I hope you enjoy it. And, you know, I'm still working on this camera thing because it still looks a little cloudy. I think it might be my computer. I think it's time for me to get a laptop, a good, decent laptop. If you have any suggestions for editing software or what laptop, you know, I'm in the early stages of shopping, so just leave it in the comments. And I hope you all are staying safe, and I hope you enjoy these videos. Gives you one way to kill a couple of minutes during the day. And be sure to tell your friends to subscribe. Alrighty. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.